Welcome to Agent Tactics. My name is Raj Sahu. As you can tell, I'm not Jeremy Knight, but I'm here to fill in because I'm really excited to share what Hector has going on. So Hector Chinea has an Instagram channel that has grown tremendously, and he's been piggybacking off of growth in his local area in businesses that he collaborates with and does incredible content. So I'm going to pull up Hector's channel here in a second, and we're going to dissect what he's doing successfully. Hector, how we doing?
I'm doing great. How's everybody doing?
Good. It feels like just yesterday we were having dinner at Rev B, and then I looked at my calendar, and that was 7 months ago, right? So,
7 months ago. You ain't
but,
wrong.
yeah, but what's funny is your Instagram channel wasn't anywhere near, to my knowledge, where it's at right now compared to 7 months ago. So correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of the growth that you've seen has been recent. Is that right?
A lot of the growth has been recent. What's very interesting is that I started to dial in on the things that I had learned from people like you, people like Jeremy, Will Draper, things that we learned at Rev B, and things like just thinking outside the box with the things that I've been doing to get to where I'm at right now.
That's great. Well, before we get into that, introduce yourself, tell us where you're located, and just a little bit going on about you personally and a little bit about your business.
Sure. My name is Hector Chinea. I am a veteran and been living in Miami pretty much my whole life, with the exception of my military time. Um, I went to school here, went to college here, went to the military, came back, and started off with Keller Williams, and then eventually, after a couple of brokerages, landed at Real. I just reset on November 1st, year three, and it's been an amazing ride the last, I'm going to say, year and a half, but like the last year has just been exponential growth, and it doesn't come with a lot of hard work, Raj.
Absolutely. And then you're in South Florida, right? Miami?
Right. So I do Miami, Fort Lauderdale. I will venture into Palm Beach depending on the listing and depending on, what it is that the client needs from me. But yeah, for the most part, I do stay in Fort Lauderdale, Miami. I do Parkland. I do Broward County. I just sold a nice, almost 4,000 square foot home in Miramar. So yeah, it's been pretty good for
So you
me,
got a
at
good
least.
mix.
I got a good mix. I got probably a 40-mile stretch, where I work from, Lauderdale down to Miami. And today I'm in Miami now. I'm just south of the Miami International Airport, and I'm working my way all the way up to Pompano near the water. So it's going to be a long day, but I'll take it.
Yeah, there we go. Life of a realtor, right? So what I want to really get into then is this Instagram channel. And if everybody could do me a favor, do not follow Hector unless you want the followers, Hector. This is designed to attract as many clients as possible. And while I'm pulling this up, Hector, what I really want to dive into right away is when you look at your top reels, like you have one that's 36,000 views, it's got 800 plus likes, it's got a lot of comments, and it's just a video of a business. And instead of explaining it, let me just play the first 10 seconds of it just to show everyone.
You check this place out. It's called Smoke and Dough. It's a mom and pop barbecue place. It is delicious. Let's go check this place out really quick. Guys, for a meeting with me today. Tell me a little.
Okay, so Hector, let's dissect this. Why was your strategy to go this route? And then get into how do you get in with these businesses to share this type of content?
So I love the question, and I'll tell you what I did. And it's just, first of all, I love to eat, which is why I have to work out, because if I don't work out, there's no way I can eat the way I eat. But I love to eat a lot of food, and especially, here in Miami, it's pretty much all Cuban food, right? It's like Cuban food. But in the last, I'm gonna say 5 to 10 years, there's been an influx of different types of food. There's a great Indian place called Ghee, which I'm going to be doing a video with them really soon. There's this place you have here, which is Smoke and Dough, and have Empanada Harry's, which is right next door. Same owner, two different concepts. Um, and when I go to most of these, especially the smaller mom and pop, and I got that from like Jeremy Knight saying, go to Cosmic Coffee, you know, he sits there, he's just recording himself. I actually hired my videographer to follow me around town. And I've got about 6 more that I'm doing right now. But all I do is, you know, typically you're gonna get the manager to come over. And I ask the manager, like the video right next to that one, that was the first video I did. The jealous fork to the right with the pancakes. And the owner came up and he's like, go ahead, you can play it.
Today we're in Kendall, Florida, over 110 restaurants. This is one of my favorite. Let's go meet Joaquin at the Jealous Fork.
Well, cheers.
Talk to me about those pancakes.
So this is the pancake that put us on a map. This is the pork belly banh mi. So you have our 2 buttermilk pancakes. In between each layer of the pancakes is fresh cucumber and then a pickled onion and carrot. Then on top of that, you have the pulled pork, which is 4-hour braised.
All right, so he's going through kind of his passion, the pancakes that are different, right?
Right. And as the person who, in this case, you're going to be interviewing them, it's kind of like you interviewing me today. You're going to ask questions that are going to bring out more. Like, what's the follow-up question? And we were having breakfast on a Sunday. We went for their brunch. They have an amazing brunch. It was my son, his girlfriend, my wife, and myself. And we just sat there, and he came over. And he says, "Hey, you know, what do you think about our pancakes? You know, we have this new pancake." So he brought me the pancake. And I said, "I'll tell you what, I want to eat this pancake again, but I'd like to just sit with you and figure out a way how we can cross-pollinate your business with my business, right? You have a bunch of followers. I have followers. I'm trying to build my channel or build my YouTube page, or excuse me, not YouTube, my Instagram page. How can we make this work?" And it ended up working out to where, and I'm sorry guys, I have to answer this text, but it ended up working out the way I expected it to work out, because I did his location, I did a couple of other locations, and I just basically went in there. I could have chat GPT'd or Gemini the questions to ask when you're interviewing somebody in this kind of platform, but I didn't. I just went in there and I was myself. I didn't like pretend to be anything or ask tactical questions. No, I just let them give me the questions that I needed to ask, and I went back and forth. It's funny you say that this is doing well and the other one is doing great, and then I have one that I just did at believe it or not, at a friend of mine, or I'm going to be doing one with him, where what he does for Christmas is he puts up Christmas lights. So I'm going to go to his location and talk about Christmas lights. And what Will Draper taught me was, you know, dial down on your community. And I just took it 5-mile radius. Who in this community do I know that are business owners, that are not only restaurants, but we need to expand on that. It doesn't have to be just restaurants. It could be the light guy. It could be the hardware guy. It could be the salon. It could be, you know, anything really. It's just a matter of you showing who you are in your community. And the other thing that I do a lot is when I do my events, I always give out something, always give something away. For example, for my car events, and I'll get into that in a little while, I give away like anything that has to do with cars, you know, something branded, something with my QR code. And I noticed that night when I go check, I get 20 scans, 30 scans out of 150, 200 giveaways. I'll take that all day long, because I want everybody to know. I want people to, when they think real estate in the area, I want them to think of me.
Yeah. So walk me through that. When you say giveaway, how are you doing that? Like, is it a code on your Instagram, or are you saying like in person you're doing giveaways? How do you do that?
I have a couple of different QR codes. I have one that goes right to my Instagram, and that's the one I like to use because Instagram is where I'm getting almost all of my traction right now. Last night I was watching a comedian called Russell Peters. He was here at the Hard Rock Hotel, and went to the hotel. While I was there, I got a Threads or Instagram message, and I'm gonna go look at a property today, $750,000 listing, and they found me through Instagram.
Wow. That's incredible. So what I'm getting from Hector is a couple things. First off, you mentioned Will Draper asking to lean in on community. I was just meeting with Will yesterday, and I always hear things that I need reiterated, right? That kind of remind me of what I need to put in my content. What I'm hearing mostly from you, Hector, is that when you go to these different communities, it's just Hector enjoying his community. It's not a realtor selling a property. It's not a realtor saying, you have to buy right now because interest rates, when they go down, the market's going to go up and you're going to miss out. It's not a sell, 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 sell. It's I'm a dude, I'm a guy that just has a family, I have a spouse. I want to enjoy my community. And let me show you how I enjoy my community. So in other words, it sounds like you got that relatability factor of you're not just necessarily a realtor, you're just a guy enjoying, South Florida.
They say be you. And I think that's important for me. You could put whatever you want on there. You could say, be where your feet are. You could say, be you. You could say, be the person you want to be. Like, try to be that person, act like that person. This is a 3-year culmination. This didn't happen overnight, Raj. I mean, the last year, maybe year and 2 months, it's been like rocket. It's been like a straight shot. And that's great. But I've participated in over 60 local community events
Wow.
in the last year and a half, right? I boost all my posts on social media. I've put in a lot of money into that. I would say 10% of what I'm grossing, I'm putting into my marketing. I think marketing is so important. And that's the beauty of being at Real, is that there's so many people you can learn from, right? I mean, I can tell you right off the top of my head, even Jesse Peters. I went to Winnipeg, Canada last year, the week after Thanksgiving. I was the only guy there from, I think Ed Stulak was the other guy from the Eastern Seaboard. And I made some great connections, and I went to great lunches and dinners, and they treated me like a king. And I gave out so much of my information, and I've gotten referrals from that as well. And I just started follow me on Instagram. That's the best place you're gonna connect with me, is or text, right? You can always text. But boosting my posts, Will Draper taught me how to use YouTube market updates. That has been amazing. I think I had 35,000 views on one video and
Wow.
about 28,000 views on my second video. My third video is not doing so well, but I'm gonna go back in there and probably leave it and update now in November for the middle of Q4. And I have a classic car, right? I have a 1964 Beetle convertible, and that car has been great for my business because, especially now, like today, I can wear a suit very comfortable here because it's not too hot and too humid. I didn't bring the VW today because it's not really the most ideal car to go to a listing presentation. But do I take my car to open houses? Yes. Do I drive it around town? Yes. Have I done, I think, over 30 car shows? Yeah, I've done a lot of car shows. And the reason I do the car shows is because while I'm there, I'm connecting with people. Yeah, if you scroll down, see this here. And I'll tell you something very interesting when we talk about Instagram. So this video here, let me see here. Scroll a little bit down, Raj. I can't find it. I did a video. I took some pictures.
This one with the car?
Yeah, so I've done videos with my car. I've done videos of other people's cars. And then they're like, oh, can you tag me in it? And I'm like, yeah, sure. I mean, again, it's about the cross-pollination, about tagging people. There's my dog on the bottom. That's Mako. And that's another thing, right? Do what you love, right? I love my classic car. I love to eat. I love my dogs. I love my family. And those are the ways that I have gotten to where I have gotten. Those are the things that I have been doing. I tag everybody that I can, my lenders, my attorney who does the closings and everything. But while we were just in Japan. We were in 15 days in Japan. While I was in Japan, we went to the top Kobe beef steakhouse, which coincidentally was like right across the street from where we were staying. And we took some pictures and we took some stories. We did a couple stories. The next day, we're at I think we were in Nanyo. We were out in this really cool temple, and I got an Instagram message that I'll share with everyone. And the guy's name is Matthew, like my older son. And the guy starts talking to me. He says, "Hey, I saw that you did some pictures and videos while you were at this other restaurant. I'm inviting you, and I'll treat your family, but I want you to do some video here." And unfortunately, I've been so tied up, and then we had Rise and everything. It hasn't come back from editing, or I'm not satisfied with the editing, but I'll probably be posting it in the next week or so. And the guy treated me like a king. And that's what it is. It's when people start calling you is when you're like, you got to be kidding me. Like, so, and it's surreal, Raj. I sometimes have to pinch myself to think that while I'm in another country that I've never been to before. I've been to many countries. Japan hasn't, well, now it is, but it wasn't at the time. And all I did was did simple pictures and videos, and somebody else found me through the what I had posted and tagged that other business. And now they're calling me saying, hey, we want to meet with you. Like, we want you to do a video here.
Yeah.
And so it's been amazing. I mean, to have another business call you, that's like a validation of what I'm trying to do.
Yeah, that's great. So let's so I have a lot of things that I wrote down here. So 60 local community events, you're putting 10% of your gross back into boosting the post. So we'll definitely get back to that and ads. But I want to first start at step one, which is you're doing a lot of interactions with businesses. We saw the pancakes with the meat on top, which looked delicious. How do you pick these businesses first to interact with them? Are you just going out enjoying life, or are you like reaching out to multiple businesses, getting a lot of no's? Let's walk through that.
Nothing fancy. I go out to the places that I like to eat. I like to eat really good food.
Yeah.
So while I'm there, I say, can I see the manager or is the owner around? And sometimes, you have to be very careful, because the person that's your waiter may say, is there a problem? Oh, there isn't a problem. I think on the contrary, I think it's great. And I'd like to just speak with him to explain, what it is that maybe we can do to work together. And I pay for all the video. I pull time away. I've never had to pay for a meal. That's awesome, right? But I do speak with them and I say ahead of time, listen, I want to come see you next week. I'm going to bring my videographer. I think this video is going to be great for your business. And I tell them, go look at my Instagram page. That has been something that's been great for me and for those businesses, where I go in now. The other day we went back into Smoke and Dough, and they're like, hey, don't worry about it. It's on us. And it's like, that's pretty awesome. That they're willing to do that, right? That they're willing to say, hey, we know that you're the reason why we're getting people coming through the door, and we're going to treat you right.
That's great. So that's where you're at now, right? You're approaching 40,000 followers. When you first started, when you had those conversations, you couldn't really lean in on your channel, right? Was it just like asking for a favor, or just telling like, hey, you're going to put your videographer in, you're going to put money behind these videos? Was it kind of like that way of pitching them to get them to sit down or get them to allow you to do the video?
Raj, what's really interesting is that most of these businesses are looking for opportunities like that.
Yeah.
The first guy that I did it with, when I went back to see him, he gave me a huge hug. I maybe have seen the guy maybe twice. This is the third time I had seen him. And he says, Hector, I want to thank you because you've been a great part of my success recently, right? And for me, again, it goes back to validating what you're doing, right? If you're not getting any kind of traction and you're not getting, and again, Raj, look at the video. I never talk about real estate. Never. Don't talk about real estate. That's a Tim Macy thing. Go in there, don't talk about real estate. So I took a little tidbit from everyone that is at Real that I've learned from, and said, I'm going to apply this and I'm going to apply that. And please, everybody who's on this call or is watching it on a replay, go look at my channel, apply the things that I'm doing. And I wish you more success than me, not my success. I want you to be more successful than I am. So I got to tell you that I have 2 more businesses that have contacted me to say, hey, we want to meet with you. When are you available?
That's great. Yeah. And then, so getting the business to share it, do you ask them, are you going to, you're going to add them as a collaborator, or do you just tell them that you're going to tag them? Can you walk us through that?
I do both. I mean, I tell them, look, I'm going to go ahead and tag you on the video. I'm going to share it on my stories. I'm going to share it on Facebook, Instagram. I'm going to start doing it on LinkedIn as well. And then I have, I think Leo told me I have almost 3,000 contacts on my emails. I'm going to start sharing it on my emails as well. Okay. I see we have a question. How is the ROI determined? I really haven't dialed in on that yet. I'm just doing what I'm doing to be successful. I don't have an ROI yet. I can't really sit down and say, okay, I spent this much money. I think at the end of this year, where I could say I've really honed in, I stopped doing a lot of the other things that I think were taking time away from me being able to do what I'm doing, to hone in on my skills and, expound on my channel.
Absolutely. And feel free to let the questions keep coming in. And,
Absolutely.
I think That was a good question because people are constantly thinking about ads. So when you walk through the ad process or like that strategy, are you purely just boosting or are you creating like custom audiences to market to where you have a bunch of emails? Can you walk us through that?
So, Will Draper, which I think you all should really pay attention to. I think he's been great for my business. I did some work with Tommy Price as well on my Google page. I think I have like, I don't know, 50 reviews, but more so Will Draper, where he told me, hey, you can actually put your ads within a mile or 2 miles of your neighborhood. And I'm working on listing number 5 in the last 18 months. So
Wow.
I, I think to have every listing in my neighborhood where I don't even have to go anywhere has been amazing. Um, and now I've even added banners. I put up 5 by 10 banners at the local schools, donated $500, and the banners there until August. Um, I put a banner up. The next morning I wake up, hey, somebody scanned your QR code. And I put a QR code. So the way to track what's actually working and what's not working is put in a different QR code for each thing that you're doing. Because if you put all your QR codes as, hey, go here, people are going to be like, okay, and you as the person who's trying to track your ROI, how do you, how can you track your ROI if you don't know where it's coming from? You
That's a
know,
great nugget right there.
it's got to
And
be measurable.
yeah. So putting in QR codes and then I would piggyback off of that and say, trying to get people onto a website. That way you can track them, right? Because you can do custom ads based on how many people land on your website. And then if they land on your website, you give them a little bit of information in your content and you say, hey, the rest of the information's on my website. And then they go to your website and they have to put in an email. Now, once you have your email, now you can do custom audiences. There's so much more that you can do. I think Hector's doing a great job kind of boosting these posts. They're getting good engagement, and then he's able to convert those into clients. Just to get people on your website, you can take it to the next step by constantly, following up with email marketing, which I saw on your channel. You had some posts from Sharon where he's always talking about email marketing, right? And also, you're kind of going through a lot of people that have given you ideas. You mentioned Tammy Price. I saw Greg Goad on here, who has an incredible community where he does a lot of mountain biking, and so he does a lot of events around mountain biking. I know you mentioned cars. I know Jeremy's done some stuff with cars before here in Austin, Texas.
Yeah.
So I'm sure you guys can relate at that level. It sounds like your content isn't just house, community, 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 community. It's just mixture. And so can you walk us through kind of like some people, and put yourself in the seat of somebody creating content, Hector. They're thinking, okay, today is, let's say hypothetically, Sunday, and I'm planning my week for content. How do you plan that week or that month out in terms of the cadence of posts? How many times are you doing a restaurant post? How many times are you posting about your family? How many times are you posting about a house? Like, walk us through that strategy.
So we had a question come in, Raj, about QR codes. Flow code is fine. I have a subscription with Flow code, and I think it can create as many codes as I can, QR codes as I want. But there are many other companies out there that do codes as well. Now, going to your question about a schedule, you know what's funny, Raj, is that's been the pain point of my business is getting on a schedule. And you're awesome at doing your Trello board. I need to, and now that I have a VA, I have started to work with Trello, and I'm going to schedule it like every other week. So I was doing the restaurant post every other Monday or every third Monday of the month. And I want to get to the point where I'm doing that every other week, right? Like you said, I want to do community and then sprinkle in a little bit of real estate. I don't want to do it the other way around because people are going to tune you out, right? So that's my theory is let's do all this community work, right? I don't even talk about my charity stuff. My charity stuff, you may see 1 or 2 postings on my charity stuff. I don't even get it. I don't even bring that up. I do more of let's talk about the community. Let's talk about what's coming into the community, and then we'll sprinkle in some real estate. Excuse me. For somebody who's just starting, the hardest step is the first step, right? Go to your favorite restaurant, sit down, order a great meal, and when you're about 3/4 of the way done, if the manager hasn't come to talk to you yet, invite them over and just tell them, look, hey, I know this agent in Miami. He's doing great. He's crushing it, as they say. Somebody told me, Hector, you're crushing it. He's crushing it because he's doing these restaurant videos. Would you be open to doing something like that, right? That's straight out of the book, exactly what to say for real estate agent. Would you be open to, right? Would you be open to? Are you willing to do a video with them? If they're smart and they want to gain more business, what other way to do it other than that, you know?
Yeah, that's great. So then we really started on the restaurant side. I mean, I saw that those were some of your most viewed videos. We talked about boosting and kind of how to share, how to get those businesses to share. You know, obviously there's a win-win. So then on top of that, you do have some posts about homes. So let me play one of these, and then if I can dissect this with you on what's working here, I'd love to do that. And I'd love to just hone in on these two videos. Or is there a particular home tour that you want to show?
Pick whichever one you want.
Yeah, perfect.
Oh, Raj, you know what?
Yeah.
This post down here picked me up a client. The one next to the bug that has the stadium, click on that video down there.
The one that is next to the stadium.
You see where my face is?
Yeah,
I'm like
right here.
that one. Yep.
Oh, click on this actual one, Final Four.
Mm-hmm.
Let's do it.
Here we go again. Look at these numbers. Look at this. $84,000 you can be using as a down payment and closing costs. Look at this. Look at these numbers. Why would you spend this kind of money, this money right here, for 2 to 3 hours of entertainment? These numbers are each ticket. So 2 tickets. Look at the amount of money you could be using for a down payment and closing costs on a home. Guess what? Not only can you watch the NCAA finals tonight in a home, but you can watch major leagues. So you can watch the World Series, you can watch the Super Bowl, you can watch golf, you can watch whatever you want to watch. Why would you spend this kind of money on this when you can go buy a home and watch every game you want? You could go back and watch Patrick Ewing.
Nice. So basically you're just taking the it's sensationalized, right? Like that's ridiculous pricing for a ticket for a stadium, and then you're just tying it back to homes. Is that right?
Call to action.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, why would you spend $84,000 on 2 tickets when you could use that for a down payment and closing costs, and you can have front row seats, pause the game, go to the kitchen, go to the bath, whatever you want to do. I mean, I think it's ridiculous, but that's my opinion.
Yeah, I'm with you on that. So I want to go to one of these home tours, and let's just show one of these. And then I want to see this video that's got 11,000 views. So we'll get to that here in a second.
Sure.
Open house number 1, Saturday morning, the day before Mother's Day. Here.
So on this, Hector, you're not even using like a gimbal. You have your phone out in vertical. That's it.
Vertical.
And we just had 3 showings. And price reduction by $30,000 because the owner says, let's sell. And I said, let's do it. So that was the primary bedroom. This is bedroom on the other side of the split plan. Bathroom, very nice. Bedroom 3.
This is, I love it. It's basic, right? There's no microphone, right? I could hear the wind. So you're just pulling out your phone. You're doing a quick shot. It's very casual, which I think is your vibe, right? It's not like over the top cinematography, 10 out of 10. It's just casual, and it feels like I'm walking the home with you.
Nothing fancy. Keep it simple, right? That's a military saying. Keep it simple, stupid. Keep it simple. You know? None of it is scripted. I don't AI anything. It's all up here. You know, I don't need intelligence. I just go in there and do my thing. I don't need to be fancy or try to, you know, read off a script or anything. And it's funny, Raj, when I try to read a script, so I did a Messi video when Lionel Messi signed with the Miami FC.
Big news.
I didn't even post it. And I'll tell you why I didn't post it. I sounded like this, and Leo Messi, it wasn't natural.
Yeah.
And I'm just, you know, I'm not going to fake it. So
absolutely. Yeah. Hector, I want to sorry, let me just interject on that. I have somebody that I'm entering on YouTube in my market, and they've been creating content for the voiceover over top of home tours. And I told him, hey, this sounds not like you. Like, what? Why are you talking like this? And then he admitted that he had been using ChatGPT for scripts. And I just told him, it was kind of like ugh, that you're never going to relate to people like that. Like, don't get me wrong. I think AI is great. I think you can agree with that, right, Hector? It's good for brainstorming ideas and stuff like that, but you need to take those ideas and run with it. And it needs to be natural. And what I'm seeing you do here is it's very natural, right?
Just be you. I mean, and I know it's cliche to say just be you or be where your feet are, all that stuff. Listen, you can call it cliche. You can call it whatever the hell you want to call it. But at the end of the day, that's who I am. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. Some people love me. Some people hate me. It's all good, right? I mean, there's one there from Video Blueprint on top, 1,051 views. And that right there with the hat on, that's me at the Blueprint being interviewed. Just a quick one. You can play it if you want, Raj.
Yeah.
Is Jason Pantano's presentation about how we need to be on YouTube and how we need to work that as best as we can to find ourselves more buyers and sellers.
My biggest takeaway from has been
there you go.
That everything comes in weight.
And I'm wearing a Greg Goat hat, and I'm wearing a Blueprint tag, and I'm just answering the question. And I had an agent reach out to me and say, "Hey, what is the Blueprint?" And so I'm like, "I'm glad you asked that question. Let's get into it." Boom. Because obviously they raise their hand, right? Once they raise their hand, then that's the open door for you to go in and do what you're going to do. Raj, there's a couple of other things I want to bring up.
Sure, go ahead.
When it comes to social media, I've also done other events that are probably events that people aren't even thinking about. Wedding planners, like when they do these big wedding events, Miami's big for events. Go to an event. I rented a table. I put out these really nice like bronze keys with my information on there. And I did this with Denise. She did it with me. It went great. Then I did a smaller one and I was handing out keys. I had to order another set of keys. So to me, I think those are the things you have to be doing. You have to think a little bit outside the box. Every realtor has a bus bench. Every realtor can put up a banner, but do things that are outside of the box, right? Because you never know what's actually going to work. And the wedding planning was great. I mean, I've gotten a list of people. I stay in touch with them, and then eventually, if they get married, they're going to need a home.
What were on the keys, Hector? Can you describe that?
It said something like it had like a little tag, almost like a dog tag thing, but it was made out of paper, and it said, "This is the keys to your new life," or something. And then on the backside of that tag, it had all of my personal information. It had a QR code, and it's funny because I left that event and I can see it. Hey, you got scams. Hey, you got scams. Like, they'll tell you you're getting scammed. So what's actually working, right? And so do events that are like, there's one coming up now that I'm going to. It's a veteran event. For me, it's huge. Valor Fest in Tamiami. I'm going to be there for probably 4 hours on Monday. Monday's Veterans Day. So for me, and happy Veterans Day to all my fellow vets. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to be at that event. I take probably 100 business cards and I just hand them out. Bang, 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 bang. And I tell people, just follow me. Hector Chinea Realtor Miami. That's the best way to get a hold of me.
That's great. And Hector, remind me, do you have to jet at the 20 to the hour?
I do.
Okay.
I do. So I have a few more minutes.
Yeah.
The other thing I'm doing is I have clients that are investors. I've dialed in on them with private lunches and dinners where I know that they like a certain place. So I say, hey, let's go check this place out. And I've had people tell me, there's an agent with Real up in Fort Lauderdale that she's going to come down to do a croqueta tour with me. I'm like, absolutely. Just let me put it on my calendar. And once it's there, we're going to eat croquetas. We're going to eat whatever you want. So I think Marissa was here. Hi, Marissa. And I told Marissa, come down to Miami, let's go get some croquetas.
I love it. This is so much fun because Marissa, I saw you on mute. Go ahead.
I don't remember that invitation, Hector. I'm there.
Absolutely. Absolutely told you. I told you at the Blueprint. I said, come down to Miami so we can go get some croquetas.
I'm coming.
And that's an open invitation for all the agents. I just sat with an agent from Utah. I took him to a place that I'm going to do a video on in 2 weeks. A Colombian place called Macondos in Doral. Delicious. And he flew in. He was with his girlfriend. I won't say his name, but he's part of a team. And we sat down for 2 hours and just chatted it up. Invite agents. I mean, that's what Real is about, right? It's about collaboration over competition.
Yes.
Right?
Yes,
Do it.
absolutely. I took so many notes here, and I want to just mention everybody. Hector's got a few more minutes, so drop a question in the chat or raise your hand if you want to unmute or just unmute and start talking. And I just want to go through some of these things. Hector talked a lot about businesses and just enjoying his life. When he likes a restaurant, he just asks for a manager and then gets permission to do a video, and that's great content. He talked about mixing it in with 60 local community events. He does a lot of QR codes, a lot of giveaways at those things. And then collaboration is one of the biggest things that I saw. Even in his content, he's got a Greg Goad hat. Greg Goad's another realtor, right? But he's supporting other realtors. He's supporting Rev B, which is a real estate video blueprint, a great conference that teaches a lot about video content. And he's not afraid to promote other businesses, other people, sometimes even other realtors. And I think that that is understated because I think everybody thinks a lot of realtors think, oh, that's going to take away business from me, right? I'm going to lose business. But I think collaboration shows the strength. It empowers you as a realtor. It shows that you have a big network. Is that your mentality behind this, Hector?
100, 1000%. That is my mentality. Is why do we need to work against each other, right? I've invited other agents that are not part of our downline, and I know people are like, "Oh, they're not part of my downline; they're dead to me." Listen, that's the wrong attitude to have because you don't know if you can co-sponsor other agents with that agent, right? And that continues to happen as you know how we have the downline here. It has helped me when I'm talking to other agents locally and away. They say, Hector, that's so nice of you. I'm so glad that you're taking time out of your day to help me put something on the multiple listing service here. This agent had not done it at their old brokerage. And here in Miami, we do our own, we handle the MLS here for Fort Lauderdale and Miami. And I took an hour out of my day. This was about 3 weeks ago. And I went right down the line. I said, look, this is how you put a listing in. This is where the description goes. This is what you need to do. He's like, this is awesome. Because she didn't have that at her old brokerage. So I think that for me personally, it's a validation of what we do as agents. It's not about you, it's about us, right? It's not me, it's we, right? We is better than me. So, and I write these things down. I have a board that I don't even use really for my clients anymore. One of the main things I put on there every day, and it's my driving force to what I do, is I have a sticky that's been there for years, 12 years now, and it says, I am unemployed. And if you wake up every day with the mentality of I am unemployed, you will be successful as long as you apply yourself, right?
I love that. I love that. I had a sticky note that had Jeremy Knight's subscriber count, and it said, I'm going to beat this guy. And that was my life about 3.5 years ago. So I'm with you on that. That's a great way to get that motivation to really build out content. Sometimes we feel like we're alone, but collaboration is important. I've heard you say that now multiple times, but you also show that so well in your content. So Hector, I know you got a jet. Thank you for your time. Really appreciate all that, all the sharing of the knowledge that you had in there. Please show some love for Hector in the comments. And Hector, I'm looking forward to seeing you around at another event.
For sure. Count on it. Take care, everyone. Have a great one.